Troop 31, march on, march. Left, 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 right, left, left, forward, march. Left, 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 right, left, left, right, column, march. Left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left, left, all, 1, 2. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Those on uniform, place your right hand over your heart. Scouts, you salute. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Those on uniform may be seated. Scouts, attention. Scout oath.
On my honor, I'll do my best to do my duty to guide my country, to obey Scout law, to help our people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Scout law.
Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Let's try it this way.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rayco. I have the privilege of being the Scoutmaster of Troop 31. I always like to start these large events with some announcements. The main announcement I have tonight is about the Avondale Cabin outing. Guys, there's an email sent out yesterday. It will give you all the information you should need about the outing. We're going to have 3 merit badges. We're going to do them in communication, family life, and one of the citizenship ones. We're also going to have a start of a JLT program, which we will finish at some other time after that. But it's notable because for you guys who would like to go to NYLT, so that you can be one of our SBLs for the school year 18-19, that you take this because you have to have it to be eligible. So please, if you have any interest in NYLT for this year, please make sure you're present for the JLTs. Okay, also I want to let you know we'll have our usual movie Saturday night, and we'll have something about sport activities. So I encourage you guys to sign up quickly because last year it was filled up by the turn of the year, so sign up quickly. Also, I believe we have some I have to recognize some folks here. First of all, Mr. Stephen Barr, our representative. We have a school board member, Carolyn Daniels. Did Dr. Zanville come in? Okay, he's not here, I guess. And also we have some teachers from the Boys and Made Able tonight. So where are you folks? You want to stand up and be recognized, or it's tired from standing up in class all day? Yeah. Okay, there we go. And is Mr. Vaughn here? Well, ask him to come up. He has a special presentation for a very special person tonight.
Good evening, everyone. As you can see, all this around here today, the Scouts and the Scoutmasters, that just doesn't happen. Behind the scenes of Troop 31, there are a lot of parent volunteers. So every year in February, the Chester County Council recognizes special parent volunteers. And in February, what they'll have is a dinner, a ceremony, and an award. One of the things Troop 31 does a lot of things well. One of the things we could do a little bit better on is actually recognizing our adult volunteers. So with that, as the committee chair for Troop 31, this year's award is going to go to an adult that's non-uniform. And this person has done a lot of service to the troop over the past number of years. So once I list off the things that she's done, you'll recognize who it is. So first of the many things she's done for the troop is she's the organizer and keeper of the troop medical forms. So as the boys and scouts go to camp, she makes sure that all the forms are there in place. In the past, she's been the host and organizer of the potluck dinner at summer camp. Third, she plans, directs, and schedules 3 pans a year. That's a lot of work. So if you've never been to a pan, you need to come to one. It's a lot of work, and she does it all gracefully. She's our advancement chair, so she keeps track of all the scouts, their advancements, all the things they accomplish and do. And then probably one of the things she also does is working with Chester County Council on this thing called Troop Master. It's a difficult beast to keep everything organized and on the computer, but she does that and has a little laugh along the way. But with that, enough said. I just want to call up Bee Heacock and thank her for all her service to Troop.
Good evening. I am Charles Fox, Senior Patrol Leader, and next to me is William Murphy and Hunter Courtney, Assistant Senior Patrol Leaders. Collectively, we comprise the Senior Patrol of Troop 31. The Boy Scouts of America recognize Scout achievements by awarding badges of rank. So rank badges are worn on the front left pocket of the Boy Scout uniform. The ranks are Scout, Tenderfoot, Second Class, First Class, Star, and Light. The highest rank is Eagle. There are also Eagle palms for earning more than the required number of merit badges toward Eagle. The very first rank is Scout. To earn this award, a new Scout must agree to live by the Scout laws and law and complete a number of other assignments.
The next rank is Tenderfoot, where the Scout is introduced to basic skills he'll need in order to begin taking part in future adventures. Tonight we recognize 4 Scouts earning the Tenderfoot rank. To earn Second Class, the Scout must learn how to use a map and compass, how and when to build a campfire, and to safely use pocket knives and wood tools. Second Class Scouts have proven their abilities in camping, first aid, swimming, and other Scout skills. Tonight we recognize 3 Scouts earning the Second Class rank. The founder of Scouting, Lord Baden-Powell, said that all Scouts should earn First Class. First Class Scouts have developed their Scouting skills even more with each adventure and outing. They practice their skills many times and build confidence in their abilities. As they become more knowledgeable, others expect more of them, and the Scout should expect more of himself. First Class Scouts are prepared to be more of a leader in their patrol, their troop, and their community. Today we will recognize 2 Scouts earning the First Class rank.
To earn the Star rank, Scouts begin to choose the direction that interests them. The focus shifts from basic Scout skills to earning the first 6 merit badges required for Eagle. Requirements now include service to others. The Star rank also requires the Scout to be active in his troop for at least 4 months, although many take more time than this. Additionally, a Star Scout must serve in his troop in a position of leadership for at least 4 months and take part in at least 1 service project. The Life rank is one of the rarest ranks. This is the last rank before Eagle, and all Life Scouts are encouraged to reach for Eagle. Most Life Scouts have earned more than half the merit badges required for Eagle. The Life rank also requires the Scout to be active in his troop for at least 6 months, serve in his position of leadership for at least 6 months and take part in at least one service project. Tonight we'll recognize 3 Scouts earning life. The Eagle rank is the highest honor that a Scout may achieve. Only 5% of all boys who enter Scout rank ever reach this lofty goal. It represents the final step towards BSA's goal of developing citizenship, imparting character development, and enhancing personal fitness. A total of 21 merit badges must be earned to attain Eagle. Additionally, Eagle Scouts must have planned, developed, and executed and provided leadership an improved service project helpful to the community by following the Eagle Scout Leadership Service Project workbook provided by the district. McClure, Noel, LoMonaco, Mogan Emhof, and Simmons all earned their Eagle Scout rank, and their court of honor will follow the presentation of the troop awards. As rare as the Eagle rank is, Eagle palms are much more rare. Only 1 in 10 Eagle Scouts ever earn an Eagle palm. Each type of Eagle palm represents 5 additional merit badges earned above those required for Eagle, as well as leadership and service to the troop. Tonight, we have 5 Scouts earning bronze palms, meaning they have earned 5 more merit badges than required for Eagle. 3 Scouts earning gold palms, meaning 10 more. 1 Scout earning silver palm, meaning he earned 15 more merit badges than required. 2 Scouts earning second bronze palm, meaning they earned 20 more. And 1 Scout earning a second gold palm, meaning he earned more than 25 merit badges required for Eagle.
Boy Scouts can earn any of 121 different merit badges in areas ranging from art to whitewater rafting and from camping to space exploration. To earn a merit badge, a Scout picks a subject and reads the merit badge book and works with the merit badge counselor. A Scout develops his skills and knowledge. When he is ready, his merit badge counselor tests him.
Tonight, we are awarding a total of 15 merit badges and 30 rank advancements. At this time, I would like to recognize merit badges earned by some of our troop youth leaders. Please hold your applause until all Scouts have been called. Ben Hack earned canoeing. Tanner Trojanowski earned canoeing and engineering. Mady Ali Khan earned a second bronze palm and a second gold palm. Dylan Schneider earned a bronze palm. Noel Monaco earned a bronze palm, a gold palm, and a silver palm. CJ McClure earned a bronze palm, a gold palm, a silver palm, and a second bronze palm. And Casey Simmons earned camping, family life, citizenship in the community, and a bronze palm. When I call your name, I'd like to ask each patrol leader or assistant patrol leader to come to the podium and announce the recipients of awards from your patrol, starting with Scott Woodhouse of Patrol 1. Will each patrol leader please invite the next patrol leader listed to come to the podium? Please hold your applause until everyone from the patrol has received his award.
Starting out with Charles Holmes, he earned first class rank. John Kingsley, up to
For Patrol 2, we have Joey Braun earning the tenderfoot rank. And second, we have William Travers earning the second class rank. Now I'd like to call up Tanner Trujanowski. Now I'd like to call up Tanner Trujanowski from Patrol 3.
We have Justin White earning life rank, soil and water conservation, shotgun shooting, fingerprinting, fish and wildlife management, and life saving. With Ben Hack, oh no wait, yeah, Ben Hack, yes, Ben Hack.
David Perkins earned tenderfoot rank.
For Patrol 6, we have Cole Driver earning the Scouting Heritage and Brandon Eacock earning Personal Management and Energy.
So August isn't here today, nor is his assistant patrol leader, so I'll do it. Okay. So Marcus Jolson earned life rights. Stevens Rebrick not come up.
For Patrol 8, Josiah Hootman earned the tenderfoot rank. Jack Michaels earned the second class rank. And Sean Watson earned the second class rank.
Jackson isn't here, so I'll be doing patrol runs. So we have Tucker Bavard, third, earning tenderfoot rank and engineering. We have Austin Courtney, who earned life rank. And Simon Kelson earned first class.
Let's have one more round of applause for all those earning rank advancements. Now we will begin the Eagle Board of Honor portion of our evening. I invite a friend of the LoMonaco family, Dr. Craig DiPaolo, to the podium to give the invocation.
Please rise. O God our Father, we gather here in your holy presence in order to commemorate these young men whom you have guided over the years, and with your divine grace have endowed them with such virtue that they have desired to achieve the honor and dignity of an Eagle Scout. Through the training of the Boy Scouts of America and the support and sacrifices of their good parents, we see now the fruits of our efforts, the bounty of your love, as we behold boys who have become men, in knowing that it is in honor and with integrity that we may all come to be men and women of charity, of character, and virtue. May these new Eagle Scouts, to be, I guess, continue to be guided by the Scout Code and by your providence in always being of service to our nation and to all those in need. And let this evening be a moment of shining hope to guide them in their lives that may not be simply for themselves, but for God and for country. Amen.
When a boy becomes a Boy Scout, there is within him something that we call the spirit of scouting. This single-lighted candle before you represents that spirit. Because the spirit of scouting embodies the principles of the Scout Open Law, it becomes a shining beacon of inspiration. Alone, this light may seem feeble, but when multiplied by the millions of boys in scouting around the world, it is powerful indeed. We will now use the light from this spirit of scout candle to give recognition to our American flag. The red of my flag is the lifeblood of brave men and women ready to die or work for this country. The white of my flag is for purity, cleanliness of purpose, thought, word, and deed. And the blue of my flag is for faith and loyalty, like the eternal blue of the star-filled heavens. By the authority vested in me as a representative of Chester County Council and the Boy Scouts of America, I declare this Eagle Court of Honor for CJ, Noel, Mogan, and Casey Simmons to be duly convened. I'd now like to call to the podium Mr. Ray Pell.
Thank you, guys. Okay, at this time I'd like to invite Representative Stephen Broad to come forward, and he's going to present the commendations for the boys.
Can we get our Eagle honorees to come up here? You want to unfold one of them? Okay, I got the half-cent. We're doing the Senate citation. This is I present to the Scouts a POW MIA flag. I present that to the Scouts because all through their scouting career, the Scout will take an oath of sacred honor in every meeting they have as they advance in rank, and they continue to take that oath of sacred honor. If you're familiar with this flag, it flies for men and women of our armed forces that have either been a prisoner of war or they continue today to still be missing in action. I present that to them because I hope when they look at this flag that they will remember the oath of sacred honor that they've taken so many times, and also realize the oath of sacred honor that was taken by the men and women that this flag flies for. And I think it's very, very important. Now, none of us know where life will take them after they leave here. Some of them will go to a dormitory at a college. Some of them will go to a barracks in the military, and And God only knows where this journey of life takes you. But you worked very hard to become an Eagle Scout. And I'd love to be here to present these to you. And I also have something else I'd like to present to you too. If you want to fold that up, and congratulations to you. And I have one for each one of them. We've had a citation prepared for each one of our honorees tonight from the House of Representatives. And two of the citations are signed by Carolyn Committa. Two of them are her constituents, two of these young men, and two of them belong to me. Carolyn, Representative Committa, could not make it here tonight. She'd asked me to do her presentation for her, which is a great honor for me. But I'd like to read the citations in a generic way without mentioning too much about each scout, but it's really the spirit of the citation that's very, very important. And it says, the House of Representatives citation, whereas the House of Representatives of Pennsylvania takes great pride in recognizing these young men who have displayed steadfast commitment to the ideas and time-honored traditions of the Boy Scouts of America by attaining the rank of Eagle Scout, an accomplishment of highest magnitude. Whereas the rank of Eagle Scout is the highest advancement rank that can be reached by a Boy Scout. In achieving this praiseworthy distinction, these young men completed all portions of the Eagle Award Program, which helps the Scout to develop in the areas of leadership, service, and outdoor skills. Each one of these young men have done a community service requirement and have completed that successfully. Whereas through their initiative and by their personal example, they are living testaments to the virtues of duty and citizenship that they so genuinely displayed. Now, therefore, the House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania applauds each one of these young men upon earning the rank of Eagle Scout and firmly states that they truly exemplify the admirable spirits and essence of the Boy Scouts of America and extends best wishes to them in continued leadership and service to others. Each one of your citations is signed by your state representative, but also the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Michael McClure. Right, present that. Okay. Congratulations.
It's also in my honor to present commendations from Chester County Commissioners for CJ, Noel, Mogan, and Casey. I'm going to read part of one of them. It is with great pleasure that we congratulate you on your attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout. Eagle Scouts exemplify the highest standards to which young men of our country can strive to achieve. The perseverance, dedication, and commitment to help you reach this honor are qualities that are admirable and will serve you well throughout your life. Your outstanding example and steady commitment and scouting has inspired and will continue to inspire the young men of your troop, as well as those throughout the entire Boy Scout allegiance. Enthusiasm that defines your scouting accomplishments and responsibilities is a spirit that undoubtedly characterizes all facets of your life. Congratulations again on this commendable achievement and best wishes for continued success in your future endeavors. And see, this first one's for Noel. Casey had a special award because he was not in the same district. Okay. And it says here that it was his pleasure to receive some wonderful news from PA State Representative Justin Simmons of the 131st Legislative District, who is a cousin of Casey Simmons. Unfortunately, Representative Simmons could not be here tonight, but he wanted the boys to know that he commissioned 4 United States flags to be flown over the state capitol building in Harrisburg today on the occasion of their achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. Certificates and the flags will be presented to the boys in the next few days. Congratulations, man.
I have led my braves to the summit of this mountain, in a long journey from our camp to show CJ, Noel, Mogan, and Casey the rewards of your climb along the Eagle Trail. When you began this trip as a young Cub Scout, many years ago, you had this mountaintop as your goal. You now have reached the summit, the realm of the Eagles. Before admitting you into the honored membership, you must first hear the story of your long climb along the Eagle Trail.
After reaching the rank of Scout, these young men worked diligently and sought experts who gave them valuable counsel on many subjects. They had been given advice and encouragement along the trail by capable leaders.
Scouting has been a great influence in your life. It has supplemented the effect of your home, your place of worship, and your school. You climbed through the ranks of tenderfoot, second class, and first class.
Then additional merit badges allowed you to be a Scout, while still more and harder ones found you wearing the Heart of Life Scout. More time and harder requirements found you adding to your qualifications until now you have reached the highest rank in scouting, the scouting movement, the Eagle rank.
CJ, Noel, Mogan, and Casey, you have worked hard to achieve the rank of Eagle. But listen first to the wisdom of the winds.
I am the spirit of the east wind. I represent the common law, your duty to God and to country. Trustworthy, loyal, and helpful are the qualities that a man must possess who lives by the laws of this land. The scout must always be worthy of his brother's trust and show loyalty to all who it is due. May the daily good turn be a central focus of your life.
As the spirit of the west wind, I represent the law of equity, your duty to country and to others. Friendly, courteous, and kind are the principles that speak of conscience. They create the atmosphere that comes from within your heart. Kindle the desire to be a friend to those of all ages and stations in life. Be courteous to those whom you pass along the trail. Cast away the harmful spirits of unfriendliness and selfishness.
I am the spirit of the south wind. I represent civil law, your duty to others and to self. Obedient, cheerful, and thrifty are the marks of civility. Obedience is something we all must learn, to take orders and carry them out cheerfully. Real thrift means spending both money and time wisely, and sharing both with those less fortunate than us.
I am the spirit of the north wind, the most powerful of all. I represent the divine law, your duty to be brave, clean, and reverent. To be brave is to be unselfish in service, always prepared to face the unknown. To be clean in body and soul is to be pure in heart. Cast from your mind and body any evil spirits that try to weaken or destroy you. Live a life of reverence toward God.
The love and guidance of understanding parents allowed you to flourish. Your parents watched you grow and develop. They worked with you in health, nursed you in sickness, guided you, and helped you in many untold ways. Your parents have been a strength to lean on for help and always there in times of trouble. Your home influence will last throughout your life. I ask your parents to stand beside you as a symbol that they will continue to help their sons grow in the qualities of leadership and citizenship that a true eagle must have. Would the four winds please escort the parents?
We now proclaim to the entire world your accomplishments. The symbols of your success are the Eagle Badge and neckerchief, which will now be presented by your parents. Parents, please present the Eagle Bag and neckerchief to your sons. ever know the endless acts of sacrifice and helpfulness from the mothers of these Eagle Scouts, which led us to this night. As a symbol of what these mothers have made possible, we now ask you to present them with an Eagle Scout mug, which they will wear over their heart as a symbol of your efforts. Your fathers also stood by you over the years and offered their encouragement and assistance. As a symbol of what they have contributed to your attainment of this award, we now ask you to present them with the Eagle Scout Dad Pin, which will stand as a proud reminder of your teamwork and the time you spent together. I now ask the Braves of the Four Winds to escort the Eagles' parents back to their seats.
As ceremonial chief, I now call upon Mr. Dulick to deliver the Eagle Charge and Mr. Denbeck to then deliver the Eagle Promise.
CJ, Noel, Mogan, Casey, I have the honor to give you your Eagle Charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest rank in Scouting. The Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world's history. You've been judged by the Boy Scouts of America of being worthy of the highest rank in this great movement. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are distinguished men. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to your country, and to your fellow Scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your brother Scouts. America has many good things to offer, but these good things depend for the most part on the quality of her citizens. Our country has had a great past, and you can help to make the future even greater. I charge all four of you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only towards the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service to God and to your fellow man. Live and serve, so that those who know you will be inspired to finer living. We have too many who use their strength and brains to exploit others and to gain selfish ends. I charge you all to be among those who dedicate their skills and abilities to the common good. Build America on the solid foundation of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God. And whatever others may do, you will leave behind a record of which every other Scout will be justly proud.
have the honor of giving our Eagle Scouts their Eagle Scout promise this evening, but before we begin, I'd like to invite all the Eagle Scouts present here tonight to please come forward and form a line behind our Eagle Scouts here and take this Eagle Scout promise along with them. Gentlemen. Big crowd. CJ, Noel, Mogan, and Casey, your conduct along the Eagle Trail has been excellent. But one more thing is important, and that's your future. As an Eagle Scout, you become a guide to other Scouts of lower rank. You become an example in your community. Remember that your actions are now a little more conspicuous, and people will expect more of you. To falter in your responsibility would not only reflect poorly upon you, but on your fellow Eagles and all of Scouting. I challenge you to enter the Eagle Brotherhood, holding ever before you, without reservation, the ideals of honor and service. By the repetition of the Eagle Scout promise before your fellow members, you will become an Eagle Scout. Though the words you use are similar to those by which you joined Scouting, they'll mean more now than they could have meant at that time in the past. When you pledge yourself on your sacred honor, you will be sealing your eternal loyalty to the code of the Eagle Scout. And now I ask your fellow Eagles standing behind you to rededicate yourselves by repeating the Eagle Scout promise with our newest members, CJ, Noel, Mogan, and Casey. Please all make the Scout sign and repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance. To the three promises. Of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize. And take upon myself. The obligations and responsibilities. Of the rank of Eagle Scout. On my honor. I will do my best. To make my training an example. My rank and my influence. Count strongly for better Scouting. And for better citizenship. In my troop. In my community. And in my contacts with other people. To this I pledge my sacred honor. 2. By the authority vested in me and with all of the Eagle Scouts present here this evening, it's my pleasure to pronounce you Eagle Scouts. May the oath you have taken remain graven on your hearts forever. Congratulations.
One of the things about being a Scoutmaster I really enjoy is having a chance to say a few, I guess you could say, parting words to my guys. And it's been a real privilege to have you guys in the troop. There's 4 of you up here tonight, and I kind of look at the 4 of you as kind of the 3 amigos plus 1. We have the 3 older guys, they're close friends, CJ, Mogan, and Casey, who competed with and motivated each other on the Trail to Eagle. I suspect they do this in other activities as well. CJ set the stage for tonight last year when he completed his Eagle project, which no doubt helped Mogan and Casey to match his accomplishments this year. While scouting is not necessarily known for competition, it often stimulates good-natured motivation for scouts to outdo or match their friends. It will be very interesting to see how this scenario evolves when girls join scouting. Yes, it's coming. Working and helping each other are some of the core lessons we learned in scouting, and these three have shown their willingness to do that for each other as well as others. A significant part of the learning process is the Eagle Project, and each of our scouts had a unique and challenging project, which no doubt was educational as well as providing opportunities to meet others. Our youngest Eagle Scout tonight, Noel, is on a different path. His familial loss would have stopped many from ever competing in the trail. And Noel is a very cerebral young man which can make it difficult to relate to and lead others. Often scouting does the most for the really smart youth because it provides them the opportunity to learn to lead and work with others, skills that are difficult to learn almost anywhere else. I have to admit I had concerns that Noel would overcome these challenges. The conversations with him convinced me he was determined to do it. Using his loss as a positive motivator, Noel moved forward as a tribute to his father, knowledge that this is what his father wanted him to do. Noel, you're a really good scout and an inspiration to all of us. One of the really unique things about scouting is you can reach your goal while on very divergent paths. Some scouts participate in everything possible, and some scouts participate in many other activities while planning their time in scouting, carefully to advance and learn. Those of us who participate in most of the scouting activities may feel disappointed that some scouts miss out on the experience of these many available ventures. It can be difficult for us to recognize the other things that scouts do outside of scouting contribute to their growth and purpose in different ways. What is important is that scouting and the other activities help the youth grow into good citizens and the most successful and happy people possible. I admit to wishing I could have spent more time with the three amigos because I think they are particularly unique guys who have experienced a lot of different things that contribute to their success and are good guys to be around. Guys, it's been a pleasure to be your scoutmaster. Noel, I look forward to having you around for a while. Your drive and example of overcoming adversity is remarkable. I hope you continue to influence our scouts to continue to make their goal being an Eagle Scout. I wish you all the very best. Congratulations. Gentlemen, I think it's time we heard from you guys.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to say, first of all, thank you, all of you, for being here to support the three amigos plus one in achieving our rank of Eagle Scout. This is a very cool moment for me because I am actually the 6th Eagle Scout in my family. So it's cool to be able to call myself a part of that group. I want to especially, first of all, thank my parents for supporting me from day one throughout all these years and seeing the value in scouting from day one. And day one would be me joining Cub Scouts in 1st grade, which is actually where I met the other two amigos. It's been amazing growing up alongside Casey and Mogan, and along the way I've met other great people in scouting as well, such as Noel, who I've become very good friends with outside of Scouts too. Remember Spanish class? Oh yeah. So I've had some great memories from the start of my scouting career with them in Cub Scouts. So I remember our first camp experiences together, especially day camp, where we spent days in, I forget exactly the name of the park, but we went around day after day for a whole week and did different activities on different skills, and eventually me and Casey actually became fishing instructors at one of our favorite programming areas, so that was a lot of fun. And I also remember in Cub Scouts feeling like a Wall Street businessman selling popcorn outside of a giant. I remember Weeblos Woods, which was my first experience in Camp Horseshoe, and we were so excited we would have thought we were at Philmont because it was just that cool for us. And then from Cub Scouts, crossed over to Boy Scouts. I met my amazing Scoutmaster, Mr. Coe, who is one of the strongest and most respectable people that I know. And I have learned countless things from him over the years, not only about scouting, but also about having character. And I remember the first scout meeting that I went to, I felt so small around these giant, grown man-looking scouts, and they all had beards. I thought that was kind of weird, and funny enough, now I'm one of those people. So, I also attended my first Eagle ceremony very soon after I was scouting. And I couldn't comprehend how much work went into that achievement. It was very cool to be there and see these scouts achieve what they had. And I remember thinking to myself, I hope to see myself and my friends there someday, and I'd be happy to tell my past self about this moment. After I started on the path, I made even more memories, and some of my favorites, I'll let you know. Of course, you can't talk about scouting without summer camp and everything that comes along with it. That being, the torrential downpours that come with Camp Horseshoe, hot, sweaty merit badge sessions, and thanking God for air-conditioned ones when you have the opportunity to have them. Walking miles a day from place to place, and of course the horseshoe food. And also not wanting to trade it for the world. Another favorite memory of mine is actually from Horseshoe, and it is earning the Wilderness Survival Merit Badge. I'm not sure Casey will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. I remember walking around until we had no idea where we were in Camp Horseshoe, with a sleeping roll on my back filled with a tarp, rope, knife, and about a whole box worth of smuggled Twinkies for my birthday the night before. And our merit badge counselors did not know about that. And then that night we built what felt like a mansion for the three of us. 4 trees, 4 walls, and a flat roof, and you could sit upright inside of it, completely made from sticks and things we found in the woods. I thought that was super cool. That night we were praying that the karma badges didn't come for us for bringing all those contraband desserts. It was really cool because it withstood the rain during the night, and something I'll remember from my scouting career forever. And of course, one thing that you get the opportunity to do when you're a scout is high adventure trips. And I chose to go on Sea Base, which is a 1-week trip in the Florida Keys on a sailboat, and that was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Salty Sea Captain George was our captain, and I remember he was such a character, amazing person to be around, and learned a lot from him too. We snorkeled with barracudas, and caught a ton of fish with only hand reels, and cooked them for dinner. And throughout this time, I eventually got to the point of doing my Eagle project. It took a while to get started. I remember Miss Ballard talking to me about this maybe my freshman or sophomore year, and it took a little bit longer to get started than maybe she would hope, but I'm happy to say that it got done. It was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, and it's very cool to say that I can come back to my school and see it. I built 2 3-man compost bins for the Pat Middle School gardens, and they are going to help to provide food for the Kennett food cupboard, and I thought that was a very cool way to serve the community. And all that planning and seeing it come to fruition was amazing, and it makes you really realize that you're capable of so much more than you think you are. And I would urge all the scouts present tonight to envision yourself up here at this podium one day, because you'll thank yourself over and over again for sticking with it. And talking about my Eagle project, this leads me to my mentor then. And as you know, an Eagle project is a very daunting task and requires a lot of know-how and connections to complete. And this person not only helped me through the logistics of my project, but also helped me organize my workbook and works tirelessly on construction days, and for all the time making my project possible, and also guiding me as a scout throughout all my years at Troop 31. I am honored to give my mentor pin to Mr. Scott Nembeck. So again, I would like to thank my parents for all their support throughout the years, being the most loving and caring people that I know. Again, Mr. Coe for being a truly one-of-a-kind leader that would not have been Troop 31 without him. Other adult leaders that have been very influential during my life, Mr. Vitale, Mr. Nembeck, Mr. Dulick, Mr. Shekels. Older scouts who helped me along the way, who were always able to give me a good laugh. Mitch Candy, Matt Candy, Chris, just to name a few. My brother Thomas, for being there right next to me the whole time throughout everything. Mrs. Ballard for her support and the opportunity to do a project for her in Patton Middle School. And Casey, Mogan, and Noel for all the great memories along the way for being the best friend they could ask for. Thank you.
Hi guys. So, scouting has been such a journey for me. And it all began in Cub Scouts where I joined first grade, did a whole Pinewood Derby where we construct cars out of little boxes of pine, have them run down the track, go on all those fun outings to Camp Ware. But everything changed when I became a Boy Scout. At the Arrow Flight ceremony where you walk over a little bridge and it's like, oh, I'm a Boy Scout now. And it's been so amazing. I remember the first outing was Avondale in the snow and having all the skits and all the boys, that was a good time. And everything just led up. As CJ said, it had summer camp. That's always an amazing experience, earning a bunch of merit badges. Torrential downpour, it always happens whenever we stay over. And everything it's just so amazing. So all the stuff that I've learned. Honestly, a highlight my entire scouting career would have to be Philmont. And that's where we fly out to New Mexico and Colorado for 2 weeks, fly into Denver, take 3-4 days to tour around the area, and then you go spend a couple more days, the rest of the 2 weeks in the Rockies, and hike. I think our trek hiked around 90 miles in the span of those couple of days, and had Bill Murphy, Daniel Dembet, Parker, a bunch of friends, really good time, and that it taught me so much about leadership. And speaking of leadership, of course, Eagle Project, for those who don't know, I constructed 8 bat boxes, so like bird houses, but for bats. I hung them in Pennsbury Township Park, and that just taught me so much, and I hope it taught everyone who participated, and also it taught them stuff, I hope. And honestly, I wouldn't be here without all of them, so I want to take some time to thank all the people who helped me throughout this journey. So first and foremost, I want to thank Mr. Coe, all the assistant scoutmasters. They're absolutely outstanding leaders, and they've been there for not only me, but everyone in the troop, and they're just amazing. I want to thank all my fellow scouts. You guys are awesome, really nice. You guys are just great people. I hope you all come to be where me, CJ, Mogan, and KCR today. So honestly, it's just a great experience. I want to thank all my other friends, just a bunch of them scattered throughout the audience, for being there with me both inside and outside of school. You guys really provide good support. You guys are just awesome, provide support, really friendly, fun, awesome to hang out with. I want to thank all my teachers for being there for me and teaching me and helping me grow, not only as a person, but also academically. I want to thank Archbishop Craig and his family. They helped support me when my father passed away. They have always been amazing. Thank you for having the vindication and the benediction. I want to... Why am I laughing? I don't know why. I especially want to thank my family, Mom and Juliana, and and all those who are incredibly close, as if they are family to me. You guys are helped me ever since I was born, you've been there for me through all the troubles and the fights. And I especially want to thank my dad, even though he can't be here right now, he's somewhere in the great beyond and watching over me as I deliver this speech. He's the one who really got me into scouting, and I wouldn't be here without him, because he introduced me to the Cub Scout all those years ago. I was watching. Thank you. Yes. Charlie helped me throughout the entire thing. He helped me prepare my Eagle binder. He was there through every single step of the project. Mr. Gould, I'd like to present my mentor pin to you.
Hello. I'd just like to thank you all for coming here tonight to honor me and my friends in this Eagle Court of Honor. After my 7-year journey of Scouts, I finally achieved the Eagle rank. Finally, I've said that because, although enjoyable and beneficial, it was also very difficult and time-consuming. That being said, I've learned a lot from my experience of being a Scout. Like, let's talk about Camp Horseshoe, because that's an important part to my scouting career. Being at Horseshoe taught me a lot of virtues of scouting that can be transferred into everyday life. It was the first time I had been away from home for any extended period of time, and I had never really been away from my family, my brothers, for any amount of time either, more than a few days. So this week-long trip taught me a lot about how to be independent and manage my time. Make sure I got to my merit badges on time, got my work done, that kind of stuff. Helps you out later in life. So, but more on that in a bit. Boy Scouts also taught me to always be prepared. The Brandywine canoe trip was very helpful with that one. On that trip, my dad and I packed all of our bags to be perfectly waterproof in case we flipped over. We didn't flip over, but it did rain on us quite a bit, and everything stayed nice and dry due to our watertight bags. I've also been a patrol leader for many years, and being patrol leader has given me the opportunity to teach Scout skills to the younger Scouts and help them out along their way to hopefully achieve Eagle Scout as well. And it's shown me that not everyone learns in the same way, but it helped me more adapt to teach people in their different learning styles for whatever is best for that particular person. How does this help me in my life now? I was recently given the opportunity to spend an extended period of time in Costa Rica to learn Spanish. And I was able to take that chance because Scouts taught me how to be independent and mature enough to be away from home while budget my time enough to be able to learn Spanish in a foreign country. Although at first I didn't understand anything, so it took some dedication. It also helped me budget my time for my Eagle Scout project when it came along to do that. So I was able to do that without any real trouble at all because being in Scouts all those years helped me learn how to do time management, manage people from being a patrol leader. But although not every experience in scouting was great, such as being with Scouts at Horseshoe on Friday when no one had taken a shower since Wednesday night. But it has shaped me into the person that I am today. But I could not have done it alone. I couldn't have done it without Mr. Coe, Mrs. McClure, and the other adult leaders in the troop. And they've been with me since the beginning to help me along my way. I gave my mom pin to my mom, obviously, and I was very grateful for all the help that she's given to me throughout Scouts, life in general. Life is more of a balance, and if it gets too interrupted, everything starts to slip, and nothing gets the attention that it really deserves. My father has helped me along the way as well, with the Brandywine canoe trip incident that I told you about, but just everything in general, Scouts or not related to Scouts. I'd also like to acknowledge the other two amigos over there. They've been with me since day one of scouting, been with me in school since first grade, so they've really been influential on me throughout my entire scouting experience. And my two brothers as well, who, although they're not Boy Scouts, they've helped me with a lot of my scout-related things, such as the Eagle Project, which was a big deal. So all the people that were mentioned really made my scout experience great. And I would like to say thank you to all of those people who have helped me get to where I am today. I would have liked to have presented my mentor pin to my Uncle Joe Marizzi, but unfortunately, he has recently undergone a bypass surgery, so he was not able to make it tonight. But he has always been there to help coach me up with things scouting related, share stories, really help me out with all my Boy Scout things. But unfortunately, he's not here, so I will give it to him when I see him next. I'd like to thank all of you guys for coming out again to support everybody here. And please enjoy a speech from the third amigo.
Sorry, I'm a millennial. I have my speech on my phone. Here we go. First off, I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out tonight and attending my Eagle Court of Honor tonight. It's a really important moment for me. Namely, it is the culmination of almost 11 years in scouting and all the hard work and experiences that go along with it. My time in scouting has really allowed me to pursue my growth into a more mature adult now and experience countless adventures that I never would have been able to experience without scouting. Unlike CJ, I don't have 6 Eagle Scouts in my family. In my family, I'm actually the first one. Also, my family isn't particularly fond of canoeing or camping or really being outdoorsy, besides going to the beach. Count that. Like when my mom's boyfriend, Greg, asked me and my mom if we wanted to go camping, Miss McClure quickly whispered over to Greg, "Stacy's not a camper." So many of my opportunities, like going to shoot shotguns at clay pigeons or learning how to tie what felt like a million different kinds of knots and lashings, or using that knowledge to construct a shelter out of just sticks and leaves with some of my best friends, as CJ said, never would have happened without scouting. One of my favorite scouting memories, as CJ also mentioned, was our trip to the Florida Sea Base. Now, the hardest part about giving the last speech in a court with all my friends is I don't want to already talk about something they already talked about, like our captain being the literal physical embodiment of what you'd think a man who captains a sailboat around the Florida Keys would look like, or how amazing it was to snorkel in the reefs with the sea turtle and like all the barracudas. However, one part of my trip that I remember vividly was our first night sleeping on the boat. I recall laying on the sailboat's cushion in the open air, looking out into the water, I being exhausted from the great amount of traveling we had to do for the past couple days, and me just being a sleepy teenager, I just couldn't wait to go to bed. But then, just as I was about to fall asleep, I could see the colossal bolts of lightning from the heat lightning shooting down into the horizon, and the glowing plants and animals flickering in the boat around us. I remember staying awake for a while, being almost entranced by the dreamlike landscape, realizing how amazing this trip would be. Another scouting memory that will always stick with me is going on the Brandywine canoe trip with my dad. Well, as I said earlier, my dad is not crazy about the outdoors, as he'd rather be at a concert or playing guitar rather than going camping, but he decided that he'd go on this camping trip with me. And neither of us, as experienced canoers, I think we flipped about 6 times during the first day, but they were perfectly spaced out in the day, so as soon as we became dry, we went right back in, so it felt like a lot more than just 6 times. And then on the last day of our 2-day canoe trip, we had to get across the hardest little rapid in the stretch of the Brandywine that we were canoeing on, and as we started to get closer and closer to it, we were about to go down, but we decided to portage. We didn't want to get wet again, and although this outing wasn't nearly as exciting and high profile as the Florida Sea Base, it was still just as memorable because it helped me bond closer with my dad with the shared experience. Later in my Boy Scouting experience, I finally got around to completing my Eagle Scout project, which is why some of you are here tonight. My project consisted of fixing a chapel at Northwood Cemetery in Downingtown, and this chapel was built in 1881, so a lot of the walls of the chapel were deteriorating, especially with the stonework structure in the bottom part, and the top coating was also crumbling a little bit. So the original scope of my project was to just fill the joints between the stones in the bottom, which is essentially just to fill in the gaps between the stones with mortar. But with the condition that the building was in, I didn't feel like this was enough. Throughout my scouting, I've talked to many Eagle Scouts who still remember what their Eagle projects were to a T, even removed like 30, 40 years. And I wanted my Eagle Scout project to be something that memorable and remarkable, and not just something I just had to complete. So I added on to the original scope of the project to include covering the stonework base with more mortar, and then applying a light lime wash over the whole thing to give it a nice aesthetic. and to also protect the entirety of the building. And this project was really rewarding for me as it showed me exactly what I'm able to accomplish through hard work and planning, and also taught me very much needed organizational skills along with skills on how to lead others. However, this project could have never been completed without the help and mentorship of Mr. Greg Morris. Prior to working on my Eagle project, I worked with him as a mason's apprentice, and many of the skills I learned with him on his job, I was able to utilize during the designing of the process of my project. In addition to this, he continued to help me and advise me throughout my project as needed, lent me a lot of the tools and equipment necessary to carry out the project, and gave up a great deal of his time during the peak mason season to be my project workdays. For your continued support throughout this whole endeavor, I'd like to award my Eagle Mentor Pin to Mr. Greg Morris. Now, while I'm sad for my scouting experience to come to a close, becoming an Eagle Scout is as much of a beginning as it is an end. It is the beginning of teaching the values of scouting rather than being taught them. It is the beginning of my adult life following the oath and laws in my doings, and it is the beginning of a time I can utilize all the skills and experiences that I learned in my scouting career. Finally, many people helped me to achieve my Eagle and get to where I am today at this podium. For always being there for me, and for their continued love and assistance, I'd like to thank my parents. And also for all the help and guidance over the years as a scout, I'd like to thank my Scoutmaster, Mr. Kell, and other adult leaders like Mr. Dembeck, Mr. Vitale, Mr. Dulick, and Mr. Shekels. Further, my Eagle beneficiary, Mr. Bill Walton, who couldn't be here tonight, who has continued to help me and has provided his cooperation throughout my Eagle project. In addition, my Cub Scout den mother, who has been with me throughout my whole scouting career, and scouting would not be the same without her, Mrs. McClure. And finally, all of my friends, some of whom I'm able to share this evening with tonight, and they've made scouting one of the best experiences of my life, and many memories I'll have that I'll cherish forever. And again, I'd like to thank you all for attending tonight, and thank you everyone else.
Please rise. I ask that you bow your heads and pray for God's blessing. Almighty and ever-living God, we give you thanks for these young men, whom we now rightly and proudly call Eagle Scouts, because in their eyes we see such hope, and in their hearts we see such goodness and holy aspiration for sacrifice and nobility of soul. O Lord our God, increase our gratitude for the many awesome and beautiful things that you have given to us, our lives, our fortunes, our nation, our love for freedom, that in these young men, and indeed through our own continued hopes and dreams, we contribute to that city on a hill that gazes only upon your divine countenance, as our hands always stretch forth to our neighbor in forgiveness and in charity. We also remember tonight all those who have given their lives to give us peace in the midst of war and hope in the midst of injustice. O God, give them peace eternal and let them always sense the mighty embrace of a grateful nation. And bless us, all of us gathered here with wisdom. Bless us all with strength of character and strength of will, ready to work for justice. And so we beg that you may always lift us from any anxiety, that we may become instruments of your peace and dignity. Amen.
As we conclude this Eagle Court of Honor, we ask CJ, Noel, Mogan, and Casey to stand as we recall the words of the four winds.
Friendly, courteous, kind.
Obedient, cheerful, thrifty.
Brave, clean, reverent.
Our newest Eagle Scouts wanted to share this short slideshow with you as a reflection of their journey.
Actually, we have technical difficulties with the slideshow, but we want to thank Mrs. LoMonaco for putting it together, and we will email you the YouTube link so you all can share our memories, because many of you are in there as very young scouts, so you'll want to take a look. And thank you very much for Mrs. LoMonaco putting it together.
As we conclude this Eagle Scout Court of Honor, we ask CJ, Noel, Mogan, and Casey to stand as we recall the words of the four winds. Always remember, Eagle Scouts, the words of the east wind to be trustworthy, loyal, and helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
I now welcome you, CJ, Noel, Mogan, and Casey, to the summit of your Eagle Scout Trail. The eagle is strong and powerful and flies unblinking into the face of the sun. He soars high and builds on a pinnacle. You must not swerve from your duties as an eagle. Now let's pass it over to our senior patrol leader, Mr. Charles Wilcox.
This Eagle Court of Honor closed. Please join us for refreshments and check out our new Eagles Scouting tables over there. Scouts, please help put away chairs before leaving tonight. It will help. Thank you very much for attending, and can we just give one more round of applause for everyone?
Uh,